Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Found another scenario that's been making its way up the popular tab not too long ago, maybe while I was absent. It is called Black Ink. The author is Driver. 12th of May, 2016, a laboratory situated in who knows where has made a substance codenamed Black Ink for cleaning rivers with excessive amounts of trash and toxic waste. So, like, 7 of the major rivers in Asia that are polluting most of the oceans? Yeah, got it. After being tested in a dirty aquarium, the black ink started transforming the fish into strange and rabid life forms. The test was immediately aborted, and the life forms eradicated and buried. The burial happened in who knows where, in the 13th of May. Present times, a child of age 10 has found a tree, but it wasn't a normal tree, it was a black one. After touching it, he felt a sharp pain in his finger and ran off scared, cleaning the leftover ink off of his finger. The revenge has begun. The scenario might have a few grammar errors due to English not being my native language. Well, that explains it all, and you know what? Kudos to you for knowing more than one language. I admire you. Constructive criticism will always be appreciated. As always, I would like to improve in making scenarios for everyone. Have fun, praise Pravus. Hey, I didn't even know that you were a viewer, but hey, welcome to the pile. Glad to have you in the cult. ATP Boost, Darwinist, Aquatic Extremophile, and Simp Dose Stasis are fine, normal difficulty, and black ink. I mean, this scenario just intrigued me conceptually, so I just had to try it out. I don't know if it's based on anything. It may or may not be, but I mean, I don't know. It looks cool, and that's all the reason I need. 17th of June, 2056. I thought this was present times, but apparently it's 40 years later. Have passed since the failed black ink experiments at Redacted. Now it has waken up and will transform into an ultimate life form ever known to Earth. Yep, lovely sentence there. My place and my little hell. The substance has been dormant for years, but now it has gone out of its little dark place, and now will spread, beginning with the family of an innocent and kind child who lives in the suburbs of India. Why not? I was just talking about rivers and stuff. It makes sense. They planted it in the country where they developed it, and they were developing it in India because they needed to clean the rivers in India so desperately. So it just makes sense, thematically speaking. It's also a pretty good starting location. Transmissions. Zoonotic shift. All right, future research speed, cross-species infection probably would be good for us. Nature. Substance begins to infect the environment around itself, giving a slight resistance to all weather. Weather resistance? Okay, I'll take it. Sure, why not? Air and water. In this case, we probably want to go for water because India is a humid country, so it's actually better for us than air. Symptoms. Marked kind. Marked mind. Thank you. Brain, you need to work now. Substance begins going through the blood vessels and interacts with the brain matter of the infected to begin the transformation process. Okay, seems good. Genetic takeover. After the brain has fallen under the control of the substance, it begins to take over the DNA of the infected to change when it is necessary. All right. Abilities we have are cold, heat, and drug resistance, as is normal. It is kind of rearranged, so I don't know if that means that there's going to be a bunch of cool stuff up here once we hit some sort of a transformative state. I don't know. I'd like to find out. So I guess basically the little fishies were killed and ended up being fertilizer, and it infected some seed of a tree, and that is why a black ink tree exists now. I mean, it's kind of a cool concept, isn't it? Now, what it reminds me of, I know this probably is supposed to have absolutely nothing to do with this, but it reminds me a little bit of is Hexus from Fern Gully. You guys remember that movie? It's a very old one. You know what? People who probably weren't like raised in the 90s probably don't remember that at all. Just think Avatar, but a cartoon and with fairies, well before the big blue people, okay? That's really what it is. Anyway, there was an evil pollution monster called Hexus, right? And he was trapped inside of a big black tree, and he kind of oozed out like ink. That's what it reminds me of a little bit, so I'm just going to go with that. It's Hexus. It was actually not a bad movie, all in all. It was kind of getting on the whole, like, let's protect the environment thing before that became, like, an actual national/global movement. Because pollution was what everyone was afraid of back then. Weren't really afraid of things like climate change. That wasn't the issue. But toxic rain, you know, infertile soil, smog, those things scared the crap out of everyone. Anyway, we have our genetic takeover. Now we can go for patient 0. With the brain and DNA taken over by the substance, it begins the transformations of the host's body. A little bit infective, let's pick that up. The eye of ink. The substance inside the retinas of the eyes makes them have a black and white tint, with various circles around. Severe, but due to blurry vision, it delays the cure. Seems pretty good. Also a little bit of extra severity. Since we are now starting to get around the world, I would like to have that. Organ replacement. The substance begins to take over the organs, consuming them and replacing them with inked counterparts. Infective, but severe. I also kind of have to wonder a little bit if this is, this isn't a Bendy and the Ink Machine scenario, right? I'm pretty sure it's not. No, it's definitely not. Patient 0. Our child has been acting strangely recently, Doctor. He wasn't with his friends and doesn't speak at all. He doesn't seem like the son I grew up with. I hope nothing. You grew up with your son? How does that work? I hope nothing is wrong with him. Maybe he's just a little down. Yes, let's give him some antidepressants. Pop him full of meds. It'll work great. Masking 1. The substance will change the host's DNA, making it camouflage in some environments. Lower severity, but also infectivity. I don't want to lower severity. I'm quite happy with the severity that we have right now. Thank you very much. All right, we've infected 1.5 billion people. What is happening? My child is with these freakish eyes. That doesn't seem human. Is this some genetic mutation? I need to go to the doctor with him. See what the hell is happening. Yeah, be very afraid. Be absolutely terrified. Let's get some drug resistance because we are in Europe and not spreading very rapidly at all at this point. Getting into the USA as well. I'm going to go for the zoonotic shift. Some mutation chance might actually work to my advantage. I wouldn't mind getting a few extra transmission types. Livestock for rural is okay. Bird for the land. Dog for the urban. Insect for the hot. All of which are actually quite useful to me at this stage. India is definitely not my favorite starting location. Its airport doesn't have quite the same range of access that I would like in other places, but even so. Let's go for the Air 2. That would lead to the extreme bioaerosol, which is okay. Main reason I wanted to get the Air 2 is not just so we can get into more planes, but also because we're now starting to infect arid regions. So it's a good way to continue spreading along the equator through northern Africa and through Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to worry about the extreme bioaerosol at the moment, though. Let's go for some cold resistance. I'm actually going to grab a couple levels of those since we are now getting into places like Russia. And we're going to need that help, absolutely. More drug resistance is not the worst of ideas. But I don't think I need it per se. I'm going to go for the urban areas and the rural areas. Let's just kind of spread that out a little bit. Spread through Europe a bit more through urban transmission types. Birds would be good just so I can get some land transmission. It looks like there is a lot more transmission access through livestock 2, bird 2, and so on. Could go for insects. I'm going to say that that is a last resort. Let's get some extra severity going with organ replacement. Black ink. Things are getting weirder and weirder by the day. While I was talking to my son, he started coughing what appeared to be black ink, and it touched me, giving me a sharp pain, so I cleaned it right away. Hope it didn't do anything to me. Oh, it definitely did something to... It did something real bad to you. You dead. Dementia. Okay. Slows the cure. Doesn't appear to be too much severity, so I think we are still sort of okay. Could go for some more abilities. What do I want, though? Do I want to go for masking to reduce severity at this point? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to commit. It's only on normal difficulty, so I think we're okay. Biggest thing is ensuring that we actually do get to Greenland quickly. And to that extent, I think I will go for some more rural transmission with the livestock, just so we spread a heck of a lot faster in Russia. That should be, what, like a 10% increase or something like that? I was hoping one of those was going to go in there. Hallucinations have begun. Okay. Host begins seeing uninfected as demons, which leads to fear and paranoia. Loses infectivity due to the infected running away scared. Okay, we have cowardly infected who aren't actually going out and infecting people. Get back in there! If I refund this, we would actually reduce the severity by a huge amount, and I think we do need to do that. We've got a little bit too much going on right now. Let's go for that extreme bioaerosol and more drug resistance. We can afford it. I think the mutation chance actually might be able to carry us to victory with lethality pretty quickly. Just really need to see a boat go into Greenland now. And in fact, they are the only country left, so please get a boat into Greenland now. Body transformation symptom. Okay. The substance begins to leak from the host's pores and taking over their whole body, making them black and drip ink everywhere. Extremely ineffective. Yes, well, Russia shut down their port, so now I'm hoping that Norway does the job. Child has went missing. Today at 7 a.m., the child of Miss and Mr. Expunged has gone missing. He's an 11-year-old Caucasian boy with pale skin, blonde hair, and green eyes. If anyone finds this child, please call the authorities. Well, now he is black-skinned, dripping ink with black and white eyes. So you're wrong on your entire description. They will never find him. And we are unable to get into Greenland because, guess what? They shut down all the ports. We did have too much severity. That was unfortunate. So unless there is a way to do like some sort of a spore burst, which I kind of doubt. Let's see. I'm going to continue with this, but we're going to have to reboot. The inked host becomes a mobile and deadly creature that is controlled by the substance. It will attack any uninfected it sees. Sentience. After getting full control of the host bodies, will become sentient and hide, attacking any uninfected. Slows down cure and massively drops severity. Leaker. Corpse transmission. Mr. Taunge. Okay. Infective. Hunter. I don't think any of these are going to end up leading to a spore burst, but it would be really nice if it did. What we really need is a lot more lethality. That's what's going to be helpful to me right now. Corpse transmission, maybe. I don't think I need hallucinations. Let's go for the leaker. Breaking news, new species related to humans. A research team has found a small group of human forms never seen on the planet. These species seem to be related to humans in the case of anatomy and DNA, but seem to be very territorial and agile. You are advised to be careful with these creatures. Mr. Tonge symptom mutated for free. We get Ravager, very lethal. Apparently the substance makes muscle mass increase, capable of picking up cars and buses and throwing uninfected away up to several feet. I mean, if they can throw a freaking bus, I'm pretty sure they can throw a human way more than a few feet. I am alive! I've finally woken up from my slumber, and everybody shall now fear my wrath, as I'm going to destroy this planet and make your lives an absolute nightmare. Get ready, because I'm coming for you. Please tell me you're saying that to Greenland. Go to Greenland, whoever you are. No? Okay. Very lethal. You know, we're actually having a hard time here. They're curing me rather quickly, and I'm not getting enough lethality built up quickly. So that's something to know, is that if you don't get enough lethality early on, you are going to be struggling. We'll go for that. That leads to Hive Mind. The substance makes a network of the Inked's minds, controlling them as an army and becoming an unstoppable force. Win condition. Okay, well, we've learned so... Oh, we got it for free. Well, nice. Would you please make them all stop curing me because they're in a hive mind? No, that's not going to be a thing? You're not going to let me do that? Okay. Well, unless masking leads to something. Lower severity, but also infectivity. No, I don't see any evidence that we're going to get a spore burst. So this was a loss the moment we couldn't get into Greenland. I'm going to have to reboot, but we've learned a little bit. I'm probably going to be a bit more cautious with my severity than I was earlier. Even if it is on normal difficulty, it turns out that we're having a hard time building up lethality fast enough to capitalize on that. So let's restart and see how we do. Okay, we got very lucky this time around. I played it kind of safe, not going for too many symptoms early on. Got into Russia, and we got into Greenland pretty early. So now every country has been infected. Now it's a question of, can I get enough lethality to actually get some gas and keep things going? Because they're going to work on that cure pretty fast, and it does take some time to actually get a good amount of lethality. So I'm kind of relying on some... I'm kind of relying on mutation chance helping me out a lot right now. We do have our sentience, so that's going to make things a little bit easier. Let's go for Hunter to get a little bit of extra lethality going. Corpse transmission, not helpful to me right now. You do that pretty much just to move on to the next stage here. For abilities, don't anything over here. Transmissions, nothing will help me over here. We could slow down the cure, and that's not a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and grab Leaker. Maybe we get Ravager for free. Yeah, it's all about mutation chance at this point. We're kind of at the whim of the game at this point. And that's one of the reasons I think I focused a little bit extra earlier on the zoonotic shift and getting that mutation chance. But yeah, they're already up to 50% cure progress. They're going very fast, and I simply don't have a whole lot to slow them down. We'll go for things like dementia and hallucinations. Come on, there's Ravager. All right, there's actually a reasonable amount of lethality now, but they're up to 75%, and I'm still not gaining enough DNA to make a huge difference. Could go for the hallucinations. We're going to slow them down even further. Down to 86%. Now we can go for insanity. Significantly harder to cure. Aggression will let us get some extra lethality going. Okay. Hive mind is the win condition we're looking for, but mutation chance is going to have to be what gets me there. Alternatively, actually, wait a minute. The entire world's been infected. I can just win right now, right? Is that it? Yeah, we got it. Okay. That worked. That fated day. I have done it. I have eradicated the inferior life forms, and I became the true life form. I will make this planet thrive and make it become a world of black ink, but I still feel hungry. And that day, the black ink committed itself to space exploration, and a new plague was born upon the galaxy. And thus, we have a new Stellaris series ready to go. The substance has taken over the planet, but it isn't over yet. Does that mean there's going to be another scenario? I have no idea yet. 409 days. You know, I actually thought it was going to take a little bit longer. We got very lucky that time around. I did start in Saudi Arabia instead of India, just to increase the odds of getting into Russia sooner. It paid off. So we got very early into Greenland. That was just pure luck. That's why it worked out the way it did. Otherwise, I think we would have been hard-pressed to actually beat that cure and outrace it. But we managed to make it work. Mutation chance, man. It is the path to victory. 50,618 points, 2 stars. It's a fun scenario. I like the concept behind it. I think it's pretty well executed and it's pretty well balanced. It's just a little bit tricky. But, I mean, overall, yeah, I like it a lot. I would definitely recommend it. Thank you very much for creating it, and thank you for sending it my way. Thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, hit that notify bell for my future content, and I will see you guys next time.